Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wildwood, where we are here at Wildwood Catholic High School. It's freezing outside, but the CAL action is heating up here tonight. It's the Wildwood Catholic Crusaders riding an 11-game win streak, hosting the Sacred Heart Lions. And we're ready for action here about 6 minutes from tip-off. Both teams looking to solidify their spot in the playoff chase, and specifically in the United Conference standings, where both teams currently have one loss. Joined by Buddy Tarbon, our first time together, happy for it. And the big story tonight is that one loss of the season for Wildwood Catholic came against these very Sacred Heart Lions team.
Yes, Tyler, and that game was up in Vineland. It was opening night, and Sacred Heart came out. And a lot of people expected Sacred Heart to be very competitive and to be tough. But Wildwood Catholic coming out as one of the top teams, top 15, say, in South Jersey, that was a rather shock that was sent through the high school basketball community on opening night. The Lions knocked off Wildwood Catholic 60-54, and since then, Wildwood Catholic came back the following Saturday in the tip-off classic by our friend Tom Williams up there at Ocean City High School. Very impressive win against Rancocas Valley, and they've won 11 straight. So as they come into this game tonight, both of these teams are atop the United Conference of the Cape Atlantic League. Sacred Heart comes in at 7-1, Wildwood Catholic at 6-1. And basically, this game, not to discount St. Joe's of Hamilton, because they're at 5-2, a well-coached team, still in the mix, but right now they're going at it for bragging rights to that first place.
Yeah, certainly a lot at stake tonight. You talk about first place in the United Conference, and a reminder that the new Cape Atlantic League playoff approach is a 8-team playoff bracket. So there's a wild card spot at stake. Wildwood Catholic, Sacred Heart, looks like that could be the consolation prize for either team that doesn't win the conference. Regardless, though, you'd rather host a game in the first round than hit the road and have to ride that bus to a destination any point in the entire region. So not just that, but playoff implications, trying to get to that game at Stockton.
Yeah, and Tyler, you bring up a great point. Because Vineland Sacred Heart in Vineland, very tough gym to play in. This gym right here at 15th and Central is notorious for being a tough place for visiting teams to come into because of its size, how the bleachers are right on top of the court. So yes, having the advantage to play that home game, and how successful, talking not to get too far ahead, but the Cape Atlantic League playoff format was a big hit last year, and obviously it's something everybody's pointing to.
Yeah, I had a great time covering it last year. It was a 6-team bracket last year. 2 top seeds took the first round off. The 4 others duked it out. They reached the semifinal matchups in Hamilton High School. We saw Holy Spirit fall to Atlantic City. Another preview of what would be an amazing run for Atlantic City to a state title. And then we saw Middle Township win on a buzzer beater against St. Augustine in those matchups. And then they both advanced to Stockton College, where Atlantic City overcomes Middle Township late. They win the inaugural CAL playoff run. This year should be even funner. 2 more teams involved. No bye weeks. You've got to earn your way there every step of the way. And these 2 teams look to be a factor, and both of them can get a ton of confidence from a win tonight, specifically a Wildwood Catholic team searching for its 12th consecutive win.
And as we had said earlier, they got that factor that they got knocked off on opening night. So, they come in here at a little extra motivated, wanting to take that one back that the Lions were able to take from them. Sacred Heart comes into this game. They're very well coached. Kevin Nash in his 2nd season. They have a young squad. They really get up and down the floor. This isn't your typical Sacred Heart type of team that comes down and plays very methodical. They look to run. They have a big squad. They got Mike Holloway. He's a sophomore leading the way at 15.8 points. Tyler Lunsford, a freshman, he's averaging 12 points a game. Then they bring us Mike Holloway, 6'7". Chris Birch is 6'3". I mean, this is a pretty tall, very athletic Sacred Heart squad.
They've got some length that's easy to see as they warm up right in front of us here on the side of the court here at Wildwood Catholic. Sacred Heart led by Michael Holloway. You mentioned the big 6'6", 6'7" forward, only a sophomore. he could be a 6'9", 10 player by the time he's a senior. Right now, very mobile for his size, long, lanky, a developing jump shot. And you mentioned the youth on both sides. This is two of the up-and-coming teams in the Cape Atlantic League. Wildwood Catholic does not start a senior, 4 juniors in the starting lineup, sophomore as well. And meanwhile, you can see Sacred Heart, 2 of their biggest contributors are sophomores. So you're seeing the future of the Cape Atlantic League on display tonight in Wildwood Catholic High School.
And as you had pointed out, Holloway, the sophomore, is warming up right in front of us. And you can see the muscle development in his calves. I mean, he is, like you said, he's going to be about 6'8", 6'9", when he's done growing in his high school career here. So yeah, we should have a real barn burner here tonight.
Tyler Donahue on the call here, along with Buddy Tarbutton. And we are about 50 seconds away from the horn. We're going to have player introductions, and first, the pledge of national anthem, I should say, here at Wildwood Catholic High School. There's the national anthem. Again, we are here, Wildwood Catholic High School. This is CapeMadeCountySports.com, brought to you by Ulmer Appliances. And here we are set for action between the Sacred Heart Lions and the host, Wildwood Catholic Crusaders. As we mentioned, Wildwood Catholic, 11 consecutive victories entering this contest. Meanwhile, not a bad season for Sacred Heart so far. They are 8-6 on the year. And in the third year as head coach with Sacred Heart is Kevin Nash. Rough go of it in his first 2 seasons, 21 and 31, but you can see he's cultivated some talent here in his third year. A lot of good young players, including the aforementioned Michael Holloway, who we're excited to see in person tonight. And now 8-6 in year number 3. A big improvement for Coach Nash's team. Of course, Dave DeWeese leads this Wildwood Catholic program. So much success over the years. Dave DeWeese now 153, 127 in his 11th season as the Wildwood Catholic head coach. So a mainstay, a veteran of the Cape Atlantic League, taking on one of the new minds of the Cape Atlantic League in Kevin Nash. So it should be a good coaching matchup as well.
And Tyler, you hit on the fact that this Sacred Heart team is loaded with young talent. So Kevin Nash, the coach of the Lions, has been able to weather a rebuilding effort, so to speak, and he's got the talent now in his locker room where they are going to be successful over the next 2, 3, 4 years, because talent breeds talent. And when you start to win, other talented players are going to want to come and be a part of your program. That's the way Sacred Heart lure was years ago. Sacred Heart, one of the most storied programs in the Cape Atlantic League, under the tutelage of one of the greatest coaches in South Jersey, Mr. Jim Mogan, who was just another legend. Guys like Franny St. John, who coached here at Wildwood Catholic, and Bernie McCracken at Wildwood High, and guys still coaching like Tommy Fracco at Middle and Paul Rodeo at St. Augustine.
And thanks, buddy. We are set for tip-off, and it goes in the direction of Wildwood Catholic. That was Jordan Robertson winning the tip, and He gives it off to George Cook, the junior point guard here for the Crusaders. Working against the Sacred Heart Themba Longo. Ball up top here to Clint Freeman. Gordon Robertson handling the ball, working to his right, up with the shot. No, across the way. Fake pass, and McWade is off on the shot. 2 McWades in the lineup here for Wildwood Catholic. Sacred Heart pushing the ball quickly, and we have a traveling call. It appeared that number 22, Kylie Lee Williams, tried to make a move right there, but instead he walked a bit. And first turnover of the game. Wildwood Catholic takes over possession here. Inbounding the ball is Kevin McWade. As we mentioned, he is a sophomore guard. His brother, Eddie McWade, been part of this lineup since his freshman season, now a junior. So the brother tandem here for the Crusaders. McWade works the ball to his brother, Eddie McWade. He's got some distance. He finds McWade taking it with his right hand from the left side. He puts it in some traffic. A nice move by the sophomore.
What a great ball fake that time as he was able to drive the left baseline. He faked to the middle, put the ball on the floor, got to the rack, used the glass, and laid it in.
Chris Birch works it inside, out top, back to Birch. Birch guarded by Robertson. Robertson up tight on defense, and he forces a turnover. Robertson's back right foot touches the blue, and that's out of bounds. We mentioned how close the sidelines are to the court here. It's unbelievable tight in Wildwood Catholic. It's notoriously tight.
And that time, as you said, Chris Birch, he stepped out of bounds. Sacred Heart now 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
Ball inside there, and it is good. Nice give there, but inside to George Cook. Up top from Clint Freeman. Dissected the Sacred Heart defense, found him inside. Nice bucket for Cook.
Sacred Heart great high-low recognition. Normally that would be Cook to Freeman, but that time it was 6'4" to 5'7".
Yeah, role reversal right there. So Sacred Heart trying to get something going. 2 turnovers on their first 2 possessions, yet to take a field goal. And here they are working things around. Tight defense for Wildwood Catholic. A drive over. There's Chris Bunch, and he misses off with the shot. Rebound by Eddie McWade. So Chris Bunch puts up the Lions' first shot. He is short on that, and Wildwood Catholic bringing it up. Here's George Cook, who just scored. He looks to score again. And McWade off to his older McWade. Eddie McWade. Back to Eddie McWade up top, running it through him early this game. He gives it off to Robertson. Robertson picks up his dribble. Gives it to Freeman. Freeman over to Cook again. Cook works to his right. Nice move. He's up with the layup, and it is in. Beautiful body fake there for George Cook, working up against Themba Longo. And that is another bucket for Cook, his second in a row. 6-0 Wildwood Catholic with 5:20
good body
remaining
control.
in the first.
George Cook doing a good job driving along the right side. And as you said, he was able to jump up, float, knock it in.
There's a block by Clint Freeman. Swats that out. Wildwood Catholic up 6-0 here, certainly forcing the issue early. Eddie McWade stripped here by Chris Bunch. He goes down the court, works against Robinson. A tough right-handed layup, rims out, rebounded by Freeman. He looks to push up to Cook. Cook surveys the situation and wisely pulls up at the perimeter, guarded by Longo. Down low to McWade. McWade, a nice move to his right, and one. Puts it up there, working against Holloway, junior versus sophomore, and McWade strikes and does damage for the first time tonight. 8-0, and he'll head to the line to extend that lead.
4:45 to go here in the first quarter, and as Tyler just said, Wildwood Catholic is now up 8-0. McWade going to the foul line with that patented spin move he does on either side of the rim along the baseline. He's able to draw the contact, score the basket. Now he goes to the line for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And he drains it. That's a 9-0 Crusaders lead. 4:40 to play here in the first quarter. No points for Sacred Heart.
That foul was on Lee Williams for Sacred Heart. His first, team's first.
Up and wildly contested layup, but it's followed by Holloway. The sophomore puts it in, and the Lions are on the board. 9-2 Crusaders. Cook bringing the ball up, working against a reserve for Sacred Heart. Just checked in. That's Loatman. Freeman with a fake, goes up, little short jumper, and he punches it in. That's Freeman with his first bucket of the game. 11-2 Crusaders.
And Tyler, if Sacred Heart allows Freeman to catch the ball down on either block, it's lights out. He's a huge body, and he can score down low.
And there is a foul against Sacred Heart. Appears we have a travel, and that's a foul on number 22, Kylie Lee Williams. Excuse me, not a travel, a charge.
They're going to call an offensive foul. That's his second, team second. 11-2 with the 4-minute mark. Coach Nash is going to have to be thinking timeout at some point here, especially if Wildwood Catholic scores again.
And here we have an off-the-ball foul against Eddie McWade, trying to create some room for his younger brother who was handling the ball. First foul against Wildwood Catholic, and Sacred Heart takes over with a 9-point deficit here, 3:54 remaining in the first period of the contest.
They're going to get the 6'4" junior, Eddie McWade, for an illegal screen. His first, team's first.
Sacred Heart, not a lot done so far. Shot from the elbow there, that's short. Knocked out of bounds, and it goes off of Kylie Lee Williams. That was
Sacred
Chris
Heart
Bunch trying the jumper right there.
Yes, really struggling. He's now 0 for 4 from the floor.
He's the guy they count on. He's another one of these younger guys. Chris Bunch, a junior. Not a lot of seniors on the court tonight. Robertson now handling ball duties, and he is wide open for a three. Attempts it, and wide off the backboard. Rebound by Holloway. He hands it off, and Sacred Heart will look to set up shop offensively. Jump shot there for Loatman. That's off the mark. Eddie McWade with the rebound, and he'll give it over to Cook.
So far here in the early going, Wildwood Catholic's done a good job limiting Sacred Heart to one shot. The one time they allowed them putbacks was when Sacred Heart scored their lone field goal. 3 minutes to go, first quarter, 11-2, Wildwood Catholic on top.
Cook up again, a wild shot off on that one. Some contact, but refs declared all fair. Here's the pass to Loatman, and he is swatted, but may have been swatted by Freeman. Nonetheless, garbage into gold there for Michael Holloway, who grabs the offensive board, puts it in. That's his second putback. He has all 4 of the Lions' points. It's 11-4 Crusaders. And so far what we're seeing is a concerted effort by Wildwood Catholic to get their hands on in the faces of perimeter players. They give up 60 points in that first matchup. They haven't given up more than about 42, I think, in a CAL contest since. So that's out of sorts. What are they doing different? What do you see them doing right now that's working so well against Sacred Heart?
Well, one of the things, talking to Coach DeWeese for Wildwood Catholic before the game, Tyler, he said they had to turn up their defensive pressure. They had to take away Sacred Heart's inside game. And Coach DeWeese said a lot of that was going to fall on Clinton Freeman. The 6'4" junior had to deny the ball being entered into the post. And that's what we're seeing so far. Sacred Heart's rushing a lot of shots, shooting a lot of shots from the perimeter. Now, what Coach DeWeese was not happy about, and he called a quick 30-second timeout, 2 offensive rebounds by Holloway, 2 points each time. That's how they've gotten their 4 points so far.
The only points so far for the Lions. And as you mentioned, Freeman has been a presence. He had a block earlier in this quarter, just rejected. He might have gotten a piece, but he certainly altered a shot as well. So big effort for Freeman so far. Here is Cook on offense, running point for Wildwood Catholic, working against Loatman. Over to McWade. Nothing doing, works off a pick by Freeman, and he drives, fakes, takes contact, and he puts it in. Down low, such a dangerous player. There he able to cash in on a little contact, and he'll go to the line looking to complete a 3-point play.
Well, again, Tyler, what he did well there, a little pick and roll between him and Kevin McWade. Clinton Freeman was able to use the ball fake, get the defender up in the air, then he rolled right to the basket. A Sacred Heart Lion came over late, tried to take a charge, did not do a real good job, but then again, when you look at the size of Clinton Freeman and the size of the guy trying to take the charge, I can understand.
I can understand that as well. Nice move by Freeman, using his body size to an advantage. Here's Loatman, wild shot, rebounded by Freeman. Freeman's had a heck of a first quarter here. Already a block, some key rebounds, and 2 buckets to go along with that free throw he just converted. 14-4 Catholic, and here is a jump ball, and Sacred Heart will take possession. Nice effort there by Sacred Heart. Themba Lungo covering McWade. As we mentioned, the only line to score so far is sophomore forward Michael Holloway. He's currently on the sideline, so we'll see if one of his teammates can create some offense here. 14-4 Catholic, 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
And Lungo did a good job there on pressure on the ball. causing that jump ball, which turns into a turnover. Number 2 against Wildwood Catholic.
Here's Longo looking for Tyler Lunsford. He tries to work the ball inside, back up top to Longo. Longo working to his right. Back to Lunsford. Here's Loatman, covered by McWade. Good defense, cross-court pass, knocked away. Retained possession by Sacred Heart. Loatman with a three-pointer, and it is short off the front of the rim. Rebound by Sacred Heart, and another jump ball. This one's going in the direction of Wildwood Catholic. Solid possession there for Sacred Heart. Got some good looks, but again, the problem is can't find the net.
But again, too, they gave up Wildwood Catholic an offensive rebound. Sacred Heart doing a good job hitting the boards, and Wildwood Catholic has got to do a better job of boxing out.
Wildwood Catholic working without a true post presence, a classic center, if you would say. But again, a lot of young players, heavy on guards and forwards. McWade working up top, gives it over to Robertson. Robertson trying to create, passes up top to Osborne. Osborne down low, he gets the ball. Up top to McWade, thought about a three, jump in, contact on that, and off the mark. May have been a foul, either way. Coming the other way here, Sacred Heart. Robertson responds with a huge block. Wow, that was highlight film material right there. That was number 22, Lee Williams, heading up with the layup attempt. Swatted away, however, by Robertson. Sacred Heart inbounding the ball now.
Jordan Robertson's shown his great athletic ability. He was able to hang and swat that.
Holloway stripped as Crusaders continue to play swarming defense. 50 seconds remaining in the period. We'll see how much time they take off the clock here. Up 10 points, 14-4. McWade double teamed, cross court to Cook. Here is the younger McWade working. Robertson. Robertson double teamed. McWade drive out. Robertson now up top, covered tightly by Birch. McWade to McWade.
And again, Wildwood Catholic being patient offensively. 20 seconds to go in the period.
Seems they're content to hold for the last shot. Cook now about 6 feet beyond the three-point arc into McWade, and he does damage down low. There's another bucket for McWade.
Either for the last shot or a layup.
4 seconds remaining here for Sacred Heart, and they throw the ball out of bounds. There will be a second and a half left for Wildwood Catholic to throw up a desperation heave. Nice move inside by McWade. Nice feed to him. Been a lot of post play so far for the Crusaders.
6 turnovers now against Sacred Heart.
McWade heaves up a long-distance shot, and that'll be off the mark. But a tremendously successful first quarter for these Wildwood Catholic Crusaders, up 16-4.
And really get after it and pressure the ball. Therefore, the end result is the 2 Sacred Heart baskets have been on putbacks, and they've turned it over 6 times. And obviously, Coach Nash not happy with the first 8 minutes, but that being said, there's still a lot of basketball left.
Plenty of basketball left, and for Sacred Heart, it starts on developing some offensive consistency. Those 2 buckets for them so far, offensive rebound putbacks by sophomore forward Michael Holloway. Other than that, it has been a whole lot of nothing. They're going to need some elevated guard play because Wildwood Catholic so far is dissecting what they're doing offensively and meeting them at the perimeter and forcing their players to pass around the perimeter, denying Holloway inside.
George Cook and Kevin McWade bring a lot of pressure on the ball. Then when you got the athleticism in the back of an Eddie McWade and a Jordan Robertson, if you do make a mistake, to erase those errors, that's a nice thing to have defensively.
And everybody know right off the bat with another turnover, it's stolen by McWade. He goes coast to coast, puts it in with the left hand. 18-4 Crusaders. And Sacred Heart in the danger zone right now. They need to get something going. And another steal by Robertson. He takes it the distance here, looking around the court. Contact and one. Robertson, what an effort there. Thought about giving the ball off. He takes on the contact, puts it in. It is 20-4 Wildwood Catholic. Suddenly, out of nowhere, this Sacred Heart team has been struck with the turnover bug. What is going on right now?
Well, they're coming down, and again, it's this pressure that Wildwood Catholic's putting on the ball. And who comes out after we just talk about athleticism and creates the turnovers? The 2 big guys. Because there's so much pressure being put on by the 2 guards, Robertson and McWade can come out, get turnovers, and get easy layups.
Both have the ability to run up and down the court despite being big men. 21-4 now. Robertson converts on that free throw, and we have a waiting for the call here. Looks like it'll stay with Sacred Heart, and that'll be a penalty against Tyler Norris, fresh off the bench for Wildwood Catholic, the second team foul on the Crusaders. Lions with 4 team fouls.
5'8" sophomore picks up his first, and as you just said, second team foul. 7:20 to go, second quarter. It's Wildwood Catholic 21, Sacred Heart 4.
Holloway down inside, guarded by Eddie McWade. Has he been all game? Again, their dangerous scorer. Here's Lopeman looking to make something. Unable to. It's been very hard for these Sacred Heart guards to really penetrate beyond the perimeter. Lopeman trying again, though. He dumps it off. Here's the drive for Lee Williams, up and under, and that one is in. That's the basket that Sacred Heart really needed. Suddenly a 21-6 game. They couldn't let it get out of control much more. They need some defensive stops now. Wildwood Catholic with the ball, looking inside there for Osborne. Swatted away by Lee Williams.
And actually, not to nitpick too much, but defensively there, Tyler Norris does a little better job. If he steps up, he was in a good spot to take a charge. He kind of bailed away, and credit goes to Lee Williams. He went right to the rack and laid it in.
Nice move by him. Here's Catholic with the ball. Freeman looking across the court. Ill-advised pass, and that's taken away by Sacred Heart. Now setting up shop on the offensive end. Here's Williams driving against Freeman. Freeman with another block, his second of the night so far. Also played a big role in altering a third shot, and the big man has been large down low on defense tonight.
He's been large in more ways than one.
Absolutely. Offensively as well, getting it done.
Now Clinton Freeman doing exactly what Coach DeWeese said he needed to be, was a presence defensively inside.
Coach DeWeese has to be happy about the effort so far. Here's Sacred Heart with the ball. Shot off the rim, rebounded by Freeman. Here's Cook working up against Lungo. He's got Freeman down low, didn't see him. Wild trick pass there, trying to get the ball across the timeline. Sloppy play, Sacred Heart takes over. Looking inside for Holloway, he's denied. Ball instead goes over to Chris Birch, who puts it in. And suddenly Sacred Heart with a pair of buckets. The deficit is down to 13, 21-8, Wildwood Catholic.
And that's what Sacred Heart needs to do, is chip away at this lead, possession at a time. And before you know it, they can get back in the game.
And McWade looking to work down low. He draws a foul. Number 22, Lee Williams, picks up another penalty. That's 5 now on the Sacred Heart Lions.
And that is the third personal foul on Lee Williams.
He's been a good-looking player for them.
Yes, he's been creating some things. They can ill afford him having to check out, but he's going to have to with 5:41 to go here in the second quarter. 21-8, Wildwood Catholic on top.
And McWade works it over to Robertson. Sacred Heart amplifying their pressures right now in the second quarter. Swarming defensively, playing a lot of trap. McWade to Robertson. Robertson searching for an outlet. Instead, it's stolen away. Loban, he loses it himself. Wildwood Catholic with the ball. Here's Robertson up, and he is fouled. He'll head to the sideline. And a strange series of events right there. Both teams playing a bit frenetic, and it ends up with a penalty on Sacred Heart, a foul during the shot. And Robertson will head to the free throw line where he has converted his only free throw shot of the night.
Wildwood Catholic, Tyler, only turned it over twice in the first quarter. Here with 5:12 to go here in the second, they've turned it over 3 times. They now have 5. Sacred Heart, on the other hand, they've turned it over 9 times. 6, as I said, in that first quarter, and 3 so far in the second quarter.
9 times in less than 11 turnovers, in less than 11 minutes. Not great. Sacred Heart gets the second miss there. Robertson can't convert on either free throw. It's still a 13-point lead for Wildwood Catholic. Here's Sacred Heart, a 3-pointer from Lunsford off the arc. And Wildwood Catholic chases down. It is up to Robertson. He's up, and he'll head to the free throw line again. Man, that kid always seems to be shot out on defense and heading to the rim right as soon as the transition game begins. And McWade saw him there, and he'll head to the free throw line looking to atone for those 2 misses on the last trip down.
And Raquan Lopeman picks up his second, team's 7th. And as you said, Robertson at the line shooting 2.
That free throw is good. Robertson now 2 for 4 from the free throw line tonight.
And he has 3 points. Excuse me, check that. He's got 4 points. 4:57 to go here in the second quarter. 22-8, Wildwood Catholic on top.
One thing Sacred Heart has done better in this quarter is defense. Still searching for the offense so far, but been able to get in Wildwood Catholic's face a little bit early and often, so we'll see if that continues. Here's Loman with the ball, guarded by McWade. Up top, here's Sacred Heart. Surveying the court is number 12, Steve Tobolski, his first appearance in the contest. Tobolski finds Lopeman in the corner. Again, dogged by McWade. Nothing doing there. He looks inside, gives the ball to Birch, and there'll be a foul. I'll tell you what, McWade, you mentioned it earlier, he is a persistent perimeter defender, and Lopeman is learning that right now on Sacred Heart.
Yeah, it's one thing that these guys really do bring as a team is good ball defense. Jordan Robertson picks up his first, team's 3rd.
Sacred Heart, here's Lopeman looking for a 3. He'll put one up off the rim, down to Robertson, and he'll give to Freeman. Back to Cook. And Wildwood Catholic will set up shop on offense, up 23-8, approaching the 4-minute mark here in the second quarter. McWade looking down low to his brother. McWade, contact, no call. That's all right. Rebound by Clint Freeman. He puts it up. That's good. And he'll head to the free throw line. It's been a lot of trips to the free throw line for Wildwood Catholic, a lot of high percentage shots as well.
Well, that's the one thing. Again, they're executing very well in their half-court offense. The opportunities they've had to run, they've taken advantage. When it wasn't there, they've pulled it out and set up their half-court offense.
That free throw, no good. Tobolski off with his shot. McWade pushing the ball down the court to Robertson. Here's McWade for a 3-pointer from up top, and he buries it. A multi-dimensional threat is Eddie McWade, proving it right there with a long-distance connection. It's 28-8, Wildwood Catholic, all Crusaders right now. 3:44 remaining till halftime, and Sacred Heart, you're just trying to get to the locker room and regroup almost at this point because nothing is doing on the offensive end.
Well, and again, Tyler, we talked about it before the game. Wildwood Catholic needed to come out because you hit on it. They gave up 60 points the first time these two teams met, and the Crusaders came out on the losing end. Since that game, they've held most opponents in the 40s. So, I mean, that's obviously in high school basketball, that is a recipe for success. You cannot come out and give up, you know, in the high 50s, 60s and expect to win. Doesn't matter who you're playing, obviously, unless you score 70 or 80.
With 8 points through a quarter and a half, I think Sacred Heart's going to have trouble reaching 60 points. If they do, we're going to see an offensive explosion right here, buddy.
Absolutely, and again, the Wildwood Catholic half-court defense has just been outstanding. And again, they've been limiting Sacred Heart to one shot.
Sacred Heart with the ball now, looking to get something going. Tobolski working against McWade again. Tries to pull up and get a shot off, nothing doing. Back to Tobolski, working against McWade. Errant pass, that comes up with Robertson. Robertson holds things up, over to McWade. To Eddie McWade down low, working against Holloway. Persistently looking for that shot, but in the process, he travels. Turnover for Wildwood Catholic. Ball goes back to the Lions. 28-8 Crusaders.
And that's the 6th turnover against the Crusaders. 3:07 to go, second quarter. It's 28-8. Wildwood Catholic on top.
Lopeman against Robertson here. Tremendous perimeter defense, as usual, for Wildwood Catholic. They've got an off-the-ball call, and that goes against Holloway. Saw Eddie McWade fall on his back to the ground, and the reason being Holloway with a little bit of a forearm push right there. Another foul called against Sacred Heart. That's 9 team fouls.
Now, again, Sacred Heart, Holloway getting frustrated with their lack of offensive success. McWade with the turnover down the other end, but how hard does he play defensively to come down here and create that?
Yeah, McWade able to recover the ball there after Holloway knocked it away. He works it inside to Freeman. Again, Holloway there on defense, swatted away. You mentioned possibly some temper flaring right there, and that's something to keep an eye on. Again, 2 young teams. Adversity tends to affect younger players more than it would a senior, so we'll keep your eye on that. Right now, Sacred Heart taking a big dose of adversity for a young team. Freeman to Robertson. Robertson for a long 3, and that's off the rim. Rebounded by Sacred Heart. Boy, that would have hurt the Lions. Going coast to coast and putting it up. Chris Birch kind of caught the Crusaders sleeping on that one. Dave DeWeese gives his team a bit of a long look as they walk to the sideline there. Not sure what happened. The Crusaders not back on defense.
That's exactly what happened. And Coach DeWeese, even though he's up 28-10 with 2:30 to go, this is a teachable moment. This is something he doesn't want to see Sacred Heart close this half with any kind of run. He wants to go into that locker room downstairs, you know, with his team, with all the momentum, especially coming out to start the second half. So he's calling that quick timeout right now to tell his guys, hey, there's 2:30 to go. We might be up 18. It's only the second quarter. We want to go in with a stamp into that locker room to send a message.
Yeah, no coach ever appreciates seeing his team get into that lull on defense and letting the player go from rim to rim, put up an easy shot like that uncontested. So Catholic up 28-10 right now, under 2:30 remaining in the half. Looking to keep their foot on the gas pedal. The down low to McWade, a nice aggressive turn, and he buries the layup. Wow, he is deadly from the left side of the rim.
A great bounce pass from his little brother, Kevin.
Yeah, some synergy between those two to be certain. Pass down low, inside, and he puts it in. That's number 14, Ryan Veltum. Excuse me, that's Chris Birch again, who just went coast to coast on that layup, so he's starting to heat up. Robertson over to McWade.
1:45 to go, second quarter.
Here's McWade finding Robertson in the corner. He goes over to McWade. Down low to Clint Freeman. Triple teamed. Robertson now, no one covering the perimeter player right now, and Cook identifies that, spots up for 3, misses. Rebound comes down to Freeman, and he puts it back up and in. Big offensive rebound for Clint Freeman. Sacred Heart pushing the ball right now. Shot up from Birch. That one's an air ball. Rebounded, still scrambling for it. We have a foul call against Freeman. Ball will stay with Sacred Heart. 32-12 after Freeman's layup. 1:20 remaining in the half. Layup after layup so far for Wildwood Catholic, whether it's McWade or Freeman. Not a lot of jump shots, which means you're not settling on a lot of possessions. Forcing the issue so far are the Crusaders.
First personal foul on Clinton Freeman, 4th team foul.
A little bit of a runner there. Off for Longo, air ball. So Wildwood Catholic with a 20-point lead can extend it now.
And again, the frustrations of Sacred Heart. That was an 8-foot little running jump shot that was an air ball.
Not a pretty picture so far for Sacred Heart Lions offense. Freeman with a jumper, no good. Holloway down with the rebound, and it'll be another foul on Wildwood Catholic. It appears this one, didn't see who they called this one against.
It's going to be on number 23, Tyler Malcolm Darby. That'll be his first, team's 5th. 1:06 to go here in the second quarter. 32-12, Wildwood Catholic on top.
Holloway takes his seat for Sacred Heart. They'll run with the small lineup here. Lotman all the way back to midcourt just about. Dogged by McWade. Lee Williams motioning his players to, not sure if they know where to go though. A little bit of miscommunication has been the story of the half so far for Sacred Heart. Not on the same page. Williams though working one-on-one against Freeman. Gives it up to Veltman. Veltman Try to get it back to Williams. Swatted away, though, by Freeman. Sacred Heart retains possession, 28 seconds to go.
Now, you know Wildwood Catholic's got their defense amped up when Clinton Freeman is coming out past the top of the key to the three-point line and deflecting a pass out of bounds. That means everybody's getting into the action.
Oh, absolutely. Freeman way out beyond the perimeter. And Freeman and McWade both take a seat here, probably trying to avoid a foul. Williams, the drive. Some contact, no call. Wildwood Catholic, oh, they're calling a jump ball. Looked like Wildwood Catholic may have got that cleanly, but Sacred Heart's Veltman had a hand on it as well. And nonetheless, the Crusaders take over here. McWade back on the court. Both McWades currently on the court.
And that's how much Wildwood Catholic values this last possession of the first half, even being up 20. 15 seconds to go, 32-12.
So Cook driving, 10 seconds left. Here's a double team by Sacred Heart.
Oh,
Freeman down low, McWade sees him. Oh, and it looked like there might be a block there. No block called. That is a foul. And Freeman once again down low, posted up. McWade spots him, and he'll draw the contact. Head to the line now, Will Freeman.
And that personal foul will be on number 14, the 6'3" junior for the Lions, Chris Birch. It's going to be his second, team's 10th. Freeman goes to the line shooting 2. And it shows you how well the two juniors look for each other. You got Eddie McWade, the 6'4" junior, out here on the right elbow, spots his teammate, the 6'4" junior Clinton Freeman, down on the left block, wide open, and unselfishly, bang, gets him the ball.
I've been very impressed by Eddie McWade's court vision for a big guy. Plays like a point guard, though, when he has the ball in his hands. Second one is up and in for Freeman. He'll take a seat here. Again, probably trying to avoid a stupid foul here in the last couple seconds. 2.5 seconds remaining for Sacred Heart. Currently down 34-12. Looking to go into the locker room on some kind of high note. Inbounds pass. And they'll settle for a little bit of a dribble. Head to the locker room for a much-needed speech. Wildwood Catholic goes to the locker room. All smiles right now. 34-12 Crusaders at intermission at Wildwood Catholic High School. Again, the Crusaders riding a 11-game win streak, looking to push it to 12. Certainly on their way so far. A Sacred Heart team they gave up 60 points to in the opener in the Cape Atlantic League. Currently with 12 points at halftime. Defensive effort, of course, but they've been getting it done on offense as well. The big men, Eddie McWade, Clinton Freeman, the catalyst of that effort. So we're here at halftime, expected to be joined momentarily by Mike McGarry of the Press of Atlantic City. He's making his way over on the court right now. Going to talk a little bit of Cape Atlantic League hoops. And, Buddy, when looking things over here, you have to be impressed by the post players for Wildwood Catholic. McWade, Freeman getting it done.
Oh, absolutely. And like Tyler, we said before the game, Coach DeWeese was very aware that his defensive presence, his big guys had to play good interior defense to get a different result than what they had on opening night. And joining us right now is Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. Mike, was this the type of first half that you were anticipating to see?
Well, yes and no. I knew that Wildwood Catholic was going to come out fired up and probably, hit Sacred Heart with a shot to the body right away. And I expected that, and the question was how Sacred Heart was going to respond, whether Wildwood Catholic would be able to sustain that, and so far Wildwood Catholic has. I mean, since that initial onslaught, Sacred Heart really hasn't recovered, but I knew Wildwood Catholic, having won 11 in a row since the opening night loss to Sacred Heart, was going to come out fired up with emotion in their home gym ready to go.
Mike McGarry of the Press of Atlantic City joins us here at halftime. It's 34-12 Wildwood Catholic. Defensively, what have you seen Wildwood Catholic doing against Michael Holloway? He's been such a versatile scorer for Sacred Heart. Frustrated so far, 2 putbacks, 4 points. Not much else doing on offense for him.
Well, I think everywhere he goes, they kind of sandwich him. They got a guy in front of him, a guy behind him, and I think Mookie Freeman and McWade have done a great job on him. They're kind of mixing up people on him. They're bumping him a little, getting him off his game a little bit. And then they're putting good ball pressure on the guards, making it hard for those guards to get the ball to Holloway. I mean, Sacred Heart really hasn't been able to get into any sort of offense, in part because they haven't been able to handle Wildwood Catholic's pressure out top.
Explain the importance for either team who wins going forward as the leader in the United Conference, the prohibitive favorite to lock down that conference. How big is it to have home court advantage in that first round game in the Cape Atlantic League playoffs?
Well, I think it's big, especially in this division. I think, especially if Wildwood Catholic wins, they'd pretty much be in control of the division. They can look to get into that tournament for the second straight year in a row, and to have a home game would be obviously great for Wildwood Catholic. To have one of the teams come to their gym rather than go to another site. This is the most unique home court in the Cape Atlantic League, and over the years, Buddy would probably know, but there's some years Wildwood Catholic's 20 points better in this gym than they are on the road. So I don't know what it is this year, but you're playing here, it could be a 20-25 point advantage for Wildwood Catholic.
And we were talking about that, Mike, before the game. In this division in particular, there's some tough gyms to play in. St. Joe's of Hamilton, that's no picnic.
Right,
to go up there.
the swimming pool.
It's a Sacred Heart when you go up there and
right.
play in Vineland. That's no picnic. And then obviously you have to come down here to here, and this gym could be one of the toughest, especially obviously when the teams are good.
Right.
Every little advantage is big.
Well, I think in this gym, spacing is obviously an issue, and when you're athletic like Wildwood Catholic is this year, you can even play better defense. You can force turnovers because you can gamble more because on a big court, if you gamble and they make a pass out of a trap, you've got to go a long way to recover. Here, you only got to go to a short distance to recover. So, if you're athletic, you can really wreak havoc on a team in here. A lot of people think that because the court's so small, the more athletic you are, the harder it is for you. But you can actually cover more ground and really make life tough for teams, with defensive pressure in this gym.
When you survey the Cape Atlantic League and you look at the junior class, the class of 2014, where does Eddie McWade rank among some of those players?
I think there's a lot of good players. I think McWade is right there. I mean, two others that come to mind are Isaiah Graves and Dennis White of Atlantic City. I mean, Isaiah's a 6'2 guard, Dennis a 6'5 forward. I think McWade's right there. I think Jordan Robinson's right there. I think to a large degree you're looking at a Wildwood Catholic team that might be a year away from really being, good. Right now, you look at the Cape Atlantic League, and sometimes that United Division gets overlooked a little bit. Next year, you would have to say, with the talent that Wildwood Catholic has coming back and the sort of what they've been able to do so far, if they can sustain it, they're going to be a team to watch not only in the Cape Atlantic League, but also all of South Jersey next year.
Yeah, Mike, we were talking about it earlier, too, and then particularly, obviously, because we're here tonight with Wildwood Catholic. But what's nice about watching a lot of these underclassmen, a lot of these juniors that we're seeing come up throughout the league, is how they play a total game, how unselfish they are. You got a kid like Jordan Robertson who can basically take over anytime he wants. He allows the game to come to him.
Right, and that's key, especially on a team like where you've got McWade can score, Robertson can score. Tonight, Mookie had a great first half. It's nice when they play unselfish like that and can let either guy, let different guys go. I think to a large degree that's Atlantic City's success. They don't have to depend on that one guy every night. Now, what's great about Jordan Robinson is in a close game, you can give the ball to him and he can make a three or he can get to the rim. He can be your go-to guy, in a tough playoff game, which you're going to need. But, on a night in and night out basis, when you can spread it around, it makes your team that much tougher.
And speaking of which, this Friday night we have another great game coming up as Middle Township travels up to the Prep. So, I mean, we're coming down to the nitty-gritty. Less than 4 weeks to go in the high school basketball regular season. Then we get ready for the CAL playoffs and then the state tournament. And for us that really enjoy this high school atmosphere, some people think we need a insanity check, but it doesn't get any better than this.
Right, and I think now, you're talking now till, the first Saturday in February, really these next 10 days are really the key part of the season as far as teams crunching, grinding through, establishing their seeds for the state tournament. I mean, the big events that happen in February are nice, and then obviously you got the Cape Atlantic League tournament, but a lot of stuff that happens in the next 10 days will define what kind of seasons and what kind of postseason positions these teams have going forward.
Well, Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. We'll let you get back to the second half. Thanks for joining us, though, man.
Anytime. Thanks,
And
guys.
real
Appreciate
quick,
it.
Mike, I know there's a University of Delaware sophomore that's very happy that Wildwood Catholic cracked the Elite 11.
Hey, they deserved it, you know. It might take me a while, but I get there eventually.
God bless you for putting that out every week.
Thanks,
Mike.
guys.
Thanks.
See ya. Mike McGarry again from the Press of Atlantic City, here to cover the Wildwood Catholic home game against Sacred Heart.
And
We'll be
also,
back
like
here after a 2-minute break for the second half of action here at Wildwood Catholic High School, Crusaders versus Lions.
What's that? You didn't have to keep talking. I didn't know he was going to talk. Well, that's no, you don't mind.
All right, we are back here at Wildwood Catholic High School. Crusaders currently leading Sacred Heart 34-12 after a great first half. And buddy, I know that you had some time to put some stats together from the first half. Who sticks out as a premier player?
Well, you know, you look at the shooting. Wildwood Catholic shot 13 for 22 from the floor. And leading the way, Clinton Freeman was 4 of 5. Eddie McWade was 4 of 7. George Cook 2 for 3. I mean, you shoot 13 for 22. Sacred Heart, on the other hand, shot 6 for 21. They turned it over 10 times. Wildwood Catholic turned it over just 6 times. Here's a big stat. Sacred Heart did not get to the foul line.
That's never a good sign.
No. Wildwood Catholic, and again, that was the type of shots they were taking. They weren't drawing any contact. Wildwood Catholic was 7 of 10 from the line. The Crusaders had 12 rebounds as a team, Sacred Heart 10.
All right, well, there's the stats. Thanks, buddy, and we're back here. Sacred Heart with the first possession. There was a foul, and they come up empty on 2 chances there. Sacred Heart, a lot of offensive woes in the first half. They continue in the first possession there. There's McWade to the younger McWade. Cook with the ball, and another inside give to Eddie McWade. It's been like butter all evening. Inside give to McWade. He puts it up with the left hand. We've seen that time and time again. 36-12 Catholic.
And that last foul was on Clinton Freeman. He picked up his first team foul against the Crusaders in the second half. Very good description. They've been going through Sacred Heart defense like butter.
Sacred Heart, on the other hand, run into a wall here against Wildwood Catholic's defense. Lungo thought about a 3-pointer. He drives in, gets lost among the trees, gives it out to Lee Williams, and he converts on the jumper. Williams dealt with some foul trouble there in the first half. He's back on the court, making his presence felt. 36-14, Wildwood Catholic.
And he's going to have to be careful, Tyler. As you said, he has 3 personal fouls.
And there he is right there, picking up number 4. Announcer's jinx right there, buddy. Foul on McWade. He comes up, tries to get in his face a little early on the pass, late on the pass, I should say, and makes contact. That's 4 fouls. I expect him to take a trip to the sideline, and he does. In for Sacred Heart is Steve Tobolski, who we saw a bit of in the first half.
5'8"
Williams
sophomore guard checks in for the 6'1" senior, so they give up about 5 inches and 2 years of varsity experience.
Robertson with the ball, over to McWade. Again, working to his left there. Over to McWade for a 3-pointer, and it is in. The sophomore capitalizes on the pass from his brother. It is 39-14 Wildwood Catholic.
Yeah, you could see Kevin there wiggling his fingers saying, yo, big brother, I give you enough touches inside. Kick it out to me.
Yep, and he evens things up with that distribution. Nice 3-pointer. Wildwood Catholic firing on all cylinders. Sacred Heart struggling right now. A shot up there, right there, off the front of the rim. Birch, the junior forward, unable to score right there, but the ball goes out off of Wildwood Catholic. Sacred Heart retains possession. Their forward, Mike Holloway, enters this contest averaging 15, 16 points a game, but only 4 points so far, both on offensive rebound putbacks. Jump shot from the left side. That is good. Birch, another bucket for the junior forward.
Yeah, Birch leads all Lions now. He has 8 points.
And a steal right there. And a missed layup. That is Tobolski, the sophomore guard for Sacred Heart. Got a great steal there. I think he may have rushed his shot attempt. Crusaders take over here. Foul called against Lungo on Sacred Heart.
That'd be Lungo's team second here in the second half.
Sacred Heart beginning to rack
Kevin
up personal
McWade.
fouls.
McWade turned it over, but then defensively got right back on it and created that ball to come back to his team.
Tremendous hustle, and there he is doing what he does best, scoring. He puts in the hustle of a role player, but he has the points of a power perennial star right there. And we've seen Eddie McWade really do a lot of damage on both sides of the ball, continuing so far in the second half. Wild shot, Holloway tips it out. Goes out to Lungo, working against Cook. Three-pointer, thought about it to Tobolski. He'll give it back over to Lunsford. Lunsford working against McWade to his left, puts up a pass inside to Birch, and Birch is fouled on the shot attempt. Birch so far really looking for his shot in this quarter. Important for Sacred Heart that someone tries to shoulder the load.
Jordan Robertson picks up his second for Wildwood Catholic. Second team foul. 4:51 to go here in the third quarter. Wildwood Catholic up 41-16.
Remarkable. They're approaching a 30-point lead in the third quarter of this one. Remember, the Sacred Heart, no slouch.
That's their first trip to the foul line.
And it comes up empty. Nice box out by Freeman there. Many would call that an offensive foul, but
especially if I was Steve Tobolski.
Here is Cook with the ball, working inside, out to McWade. McWade into Freeman, working against Holloway. Holloway has his hands on the ball, and a travel is called. Holloway maintaining his ground in the post. Nice defense. Freeman tried to make something work in the process. He travels, and the ball goes back to Sacred Heart. 4:30 remaining in the third quarter.
The 6'7" Holloway, as you said, did a good job defensively.
A quick three-pointer there by Tobolski. Misses, and here's McWade bringing the ball up. Tobolski with a steal. He's brought a lot of energy on the court. But the second time so far, he's been unable to convert after a steal. That ball goes out of bounds off Tobolski. And now Wildwood Catholic with the ball once again. Sacred Heart so far, even when they make something good happen on defense, they have trouble converting on the offensive end. McWade inbound to Cook. He's got Freeman. Instead, he'll give it to Robertson. Steps back for a three. Instead, he passes it over to Cook. Robertson, as McGarry mentioned and Buddy mentioned, waits for the shot to come to him. Waits for the opportunities. And here's McWade driving, creating. Right off the rim. It took some contact from Holloway. A nice take, a nice defense. Stop for Sacred Heart. Can they get some points on the board now? That has been the Achilles heel of this Lions team so far tonight. Tobolski, another three, same spot, same result. That one was an air ball. He's certainly not shy coming off the bench for Sacred Heart. So far unable to convert on any of his shots.
I think his coach just told him to stop shooting.
Yeah, he said take a chill pill with those three-pointers. Some pressure applied here by the Lions defense. They break it. Robertson to Freeman. Freeman fake, gets Holloway to bite, and he is fouled on the shot attempt. Holloway went up on the first shot fake. Freeman followed with a shot. He was fouled, missed the shot, but he'll get two at the line here. 41-16, Wildwood Catholic, 3:27 remaining in the third quarter.
And again, Jordan Robertson showing how unselfish he is. He drives the left baseline. He could have forced that, taking that shot himself, but he gave it up to his teammate who was across the lane. And Clinton Freeman does a good job catching on the right block, pump fake, gets his defender up in the air, draws the contact, he goes to the line to shoot two.
Yep, most importantly, he kept the ball up, did not bring it down, didn't give anyone a chance to steal it away. Second free throw attempt now for Freeman. That one is off the back of the rim, rebounded by Birch, and Sacred Heart takes possession here. Here's Lopman with the ball, guarded by McWade. Look inside, there's Tobolski, and he misses that layup. Rebound to Wildwood Catholic. Tobolski with a tough quarter so far. Robertson inside on the pass from Cook. Instead, he steps out of bound, looking to make a nice little room, cut inside to take it to the rim. Unfortunately, he caught some blue, and the ref caught it.
And that's where the small court hurts you, even when you're the home team.
Absolutely. Seen some wild games played here, and a lot of the reason is this court, this gym, just something different about it.
Well, we like to say, remind you of the palestra of Big Five lore up in Philadelphia.
Swipe by McWade up to his older brother, fouled hard on the layup attempt, perhaps a dunk attempt even. Taken down by Tobolski, and he'll head to the line for a well-deserved 2 free throws. Tell you what, that was a lot of contact and high-speed collision. McWade got right up with a smile on his face.
Yeah, that was a good, clean, hard foul by the sophomore for Sacred Heart. Tobolski. A lot of people wanted a intentional foul or maybe a flagrant, but give Tobolski credit. He didn't back down. He went up and challenged at 5'8". He went up and challenged the 6'4" McWade.
Giving up about 9 inches to McWade, was not afraid to take on the contact, and you know what? He went for the ball, and that's the key distinguishing
that was a good hard play.
A flagrant, and a foul. So McWade earns his way to the charity stripe, hits the first, and the second is up, and that is good as well. McWade's excellent evening continues, and actually right now, thought he was going to take a seat. Instead, it will be the younger McWade heading to the bench, getting a handshake from Coach DeWeese. It's 44-16. And look out here. Tobolski did not know the ball was coming his way, nearly swiped away by Cook. Instead, he takes it to the rim and puts in the layup. Tobolski there with 2 points, 44-18. Wildwood Catholic, 2:35 remaining in the third quarter here.
Tobolski drove strong to the rack from the left side and got to the glass and laid it in.
Swiped away by Tobolski. So say what you will about some of those errant threes, but he has brought a lot of energy on the court here. He's off on that jumper. And Sacred Heart cashing in on the second chance right there is Justin DeRossi, a senior for Sacred Heart. Buries a three-pointer. Sacred Heart now with 21 points, trailing by 23 points. 2:16 remaining in the third quarter. You're listening to CapeMayCountySports.com, brought to you by Ulmer's Appliances. On the call here, I'm Tyler Donahue, joined by Buddy Tarbun. Buddy, we've seen the same of what we saw in the first half. Eddie McWade attacking, and the rest of the team letting the action come to them on offense.
Well, and Wildwood Catholic has done a good job, and as you just said, they get the ball to Eddie McWade, whether it be high or low. Eddie turns very well, and he sees the rest of his teammates. Whatever Sacred Heart's giving him or not giving him, he finds somebody with a better shot or a better position on the floor, and that's been an incredible recipe of success through the first 3 quarters of this basketball game with 2:16 to go here in the third quarter. And again, so we talked about with Mike McGarry from the press at the half, the ability for these guys to play so unselfish.
McWade does just about everything you want to as a basketball coach. He sprints off from the sidelines to take the inbounds ball, and we've seen everything from him, both sides of the ball. McWade has been a part of this Wildwood Catholic lineup since his freshman season. Now a junior, certainly one of the top juniors in the Cape Atlantic League. And he inbounds the ball to Cook here. Coming up on the 2-minute mark. About 10 minutes remaining in this Cape Atlantic League clash. So far, decidedly in favor of the Crusaders. Here's Robinson for a 3, off the mark, rebounded down low. Crusaders have fresh life. They'll set up top with Eddie McWade. Again, the ball to Robertson, being guarded by Lotman. McWade, for the big man on this team, does a lot of orchestrating at the top of the perimeter. Looks down low. That ball is swiped away. Here's Lotman pushing it against Robertson. Flies by Robertson. Instead, Osborne appeared to get a piece of that one. Nice defense down low to halt the fast break attempt by Lotman. 1:20 remaining in the third quarter. Wildwood Catholic up. Here's a steal and a layup, and it's good. Tyler Lunsford, the freshman guard for Sacred Heart. Impressive in spurts here. Nice play for him there. Cook to Robertson. Surveying the court. Up back to Cook. Cook against Tobolski. Tobolski goes for the steal. Comes up empty.
And again, Sacred Heart showing no quit. They're really playing tough defensively, trying to whittle their way back into this game.
Got to give them some credit. Also wondering why we haven't seen Michael Holloway on the court too much this half. I don't know if that's a case of maybe because he let his temper get out. And as I say this, of course, he's back on the court. Still just 4 points.
Lotman will be his third, team's 6th.
Two of the Sacred Heart's key players in the backcourt now within foul trouble. Loban with 3. And Lee Williams with 4 currently. Here's Freeman. Ball swiped away by Loban off the leg of Freeman. Rolls out of bounds. Sacred Heart takes over, 41 seconds remaining. And checking back into the game is Longo. Heading out is Tobolski.
Wildwood Catholic turned it over 6 times in the first 16 minutes. Here in the third quarter, they've turned it over 8 times.
Recipe for disaster, and that shows on the scoreboard right now. Loban gets his own rebound, puts up again off the backboard. No, another offensive rebound for Loban. He gives it inside to Holloway, who was fouled. 3 chances there for Sacred Heart. Ultimately results in 2 free throw attempts for Holloway. Nice effort by Loban, twice getting his own rebound. Scrappy player.
And that foul is going to be called on number 1, Kevin McWade, his first, team's third. Take this time real quick to give a shout out to Tom Williams, PrimeEvents.net, providing all of our stats and standings for this evening's ball game. You can go to PrimeEvents.net for all Cape Atlantic League statistics, both boys and girls. Very thorough, very good website. Tom Williams is the mentor of all of us in Radio Land. And
Tom Williams does a nice job making us look good. A lot of stats and standings he provides there, PrimeEvents.net. Here is McWade over to his brother. McWade working to his left again, takes contact, and another shot. No, they're going to call this one on the floor, out near the 3-point line, so it will not be shots. Oh, it will be actually, a 1-and-1 situation.
And they're actually going to get that foul on Ryan Loatman, saying he grabbed trying to help his teammate Mike Holloway. Loatman's going to pick up his 4th, team 7th. It's going to send McWade to the line for a 1-and-1.
That shot is good. He earned himself another free throw attempt right now. So 2 of the top players in the Sacred Heart Lions rotation right now with 4 fouls. Kylie Lee Williams and also Raquan Loatman. That is up and good. Man, Eddie McWade sure looks confident from the free throw line for a big guy.
Yes, he does. He now has 20 points. He's 5 of 5 from the charity stripe.
Loatman, nice little crossover there. Gives it over to Veltman. Inside to Holloway. His first attempt in a while. That one's off the mark. And that's how this third quarter will end. Holloway misses the free throw, the layup attempt there, and a pair of free throws from Eddie McWade. Now 46-25. Wildwood Catholic ahead, heading into the final 8 minutes. Looks like it will be a major victory for this Wildwood Catholic Crusaders team if they can take care of business and avoid a monumental letdown in the final 8.
And Tyler, what we've seen so far here in the first 24 minutes, Wildwood Catholic has just not stopped playing on the defensive end. What it was able in that third quarter to allow Sacred Heart to stay in the game and actually win that quarter by 1 point. It was 34-12 at the half, and that ended up being a 13-12 third quarter for Sacred Heart, was the fact that the Crusaders turned it over 8 times. They only turned it over 6 times in that first half, so now they've turned it over 14 times. Sacred Heart turned their turnovers down a notch and were able to get a little bit better offensively, but at least when they were coming down, they were working the ball, taking some time off the clock, even if they were not able to score. But, you know, that's one thing. When you come down, shoot quick, or you come down, turn it over quick, the other team's on a bit of a roll. You're giving them the ball right back, and that's not going to be a good recipe.
And Wildwood Catholic's lead there ballooned nearly to 30. Now 21-point lead, 46-25. Crusaders, again, 11 consecutive victories coming into this contest.
We'd like to give a shout-out to Brigham Young University, Bill Jett, who's listening in Provo, Utah tonight.
The power of the internet. Very cool. I'm sure it's even colder than it is here, and everyone's whining about the weather here in Wildwood. McWade with the ball, working off Holloway, and that looked like a mismatch from the get-go. The 6'6" Holloway working against a smaller guard, using the speed to force the contact, and he earns his way to the charity stripe now as well. 18 fouls on Sacred Heart. It's been a key to the game for them as well, picking up a lot of penalties throughout this contest.
And Holloway picks up his third, team's eighth.
Kevin McWade, the sophomore guard, rattles around out of bounds, and that will go to Holloway, who gives it up to Loatman. Loatman again working with 4 fouls. Sacred Heart will need a huge fourth quarter to make this one competitive. Loatman working against Robertson. Ball's knifed away. Lungo recovers it, now facing Cook. That is Sacred Heart's Justin DeRossi. Another long-distance connection for him, his second of the game. Been a spark off the bench for them.
The designated three-point shooter.
Apparently he is the sniper of this squad, and 2 for 2 tonight on three-point attempts. Robertson inside, working against Holloway, forces the issue. No good there, though. Went up with the right hand. Strong effort off the top, front of the rim, though. Holloway with a jumper, not exactly in his repertoire. He gets his own rebound, puts it up again in front of McWade. That one's off the glass, and Freeman with it, and finally, Wildwood Catholic corrals it. Ball was all over the place on that possession. 2 misses for Holloway. It's been that kind of night for him. The Sacred Heart's catalyst on offense, and when he's not doing well, these Lions really struggle. That's been the case tonight. McWade working against him now. Again going to his left, and that will be another penalty.
It'll be a foul again on Mike Holloway, the 6'7" sophomore. Picks up his 4th, 9th team foul. He's going to set Eddie McWade to the line, the 6'4" junior, to shoot another 1 and 1. 6:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's 46-28. Wildwood Catholic on top comfortably in this rematch.
McWade shot off the front of the rim, rebounded by younger McWade, but that is ripped away by Holloway. That's the first free throw missed by Eddie McWade tonight. Sacred Heart looking to do some damage. Loose ball. That will be a foul on Eddie McWade. It was Ryan Veltman trying to work the ball inside there. He drew the contact. That's second on McWade.
That foul was actually on Kevin McWade. It'll be his second. Team's 4th.
Cook with the steal there off Veltman. Picked his pocket. And now he takes it against Sacred Heart's defense here. Eddie McWade calling for some movement. Works off the ball, and McWade up and denied by Holloway. That one is blocked.
Well, that time Mike Holloway did a good job. He didn't leave his feet. He D'd McWade up, standing straight up, and he didn't go for any pump fakes, and McWade was forced to shoot the ball basically right into his elbow.
And these two young CAL stars are right now going toe-to-toe. You can see the contact is becoming elevated. Holloway wants to make sure that McWade remembers this matchup for next year or possibly in the playoffs. Not making life easy for Eddie McWade right now. And for now, he'll take a seat, though. That'll be the last these two meet in the regular season. Holloway a little over-aggressive there, just as he has been on this last possession. And he'll take a seat with his 5th foul. Tough night for Michael Holloway, one of the top sophomore players we have in the Cape Atlantic League.
Yeah, Mike Holloway, the 6'7" sophomore, he fouls out. He has reached his quota. He fouls out with 6 points to go along with 9 rebounds. He is the leading rebounder in tonight's contest, but Wildwood Catholic made it very difficult for him to get the ball inside. 2 of those buckets were putbacks, and his other 2 points came from the foul line. So Sacred Heart did not do a good job in their half-court offense of finding him, or on the other hand, Wildwood Catholic did a very good job of denying him.
Yeah, frustrating night for one of the bright young players in South Jersey. Last Saturday here on CapeMayCountySports.com, we broadcast the Holy Spirit Middle Township matchup in Absecon. We thought we would see a big night from Paul Moore. He scores 3 points. So you really don't know, especially at the high school level, who's going to emerge as that premier player in the night. Remember, they are teenagers and not exactly the most consistent athletes quite yet.
And I'll tell you, speaking on that note too, Tyler, when you have defenders like Middle Township has, That's one thing why they've been so successful, why they're one of the top 5 teams in South Jersey. They got 3 different guys that can really lock you up on the perimeter. You know, Cadnoso, Shelton, and Faracco. They really bring it defensively.
They did then, and McWade's been so consistent at the line tonight. 2 more right there. It's 48-28, Wildwood Catholic. Another steal for Cook. That's his second in about 3 possessions, and he wisely pulls up, burns some clock, and set up shop here for Wildwood Catholic. It's over to McWade. Kevin McWade gives it off to Robertson, who works it back to Cook. Now Robertson, guarded by Loatman. Loatman again, 4 fouls. Crusaders fans beginning to sense the nearing of a victory here. Still 5 minutes plus remaining, but 20-point lead. It's party time right now at Wildwood Catholic.
Yeah, and right now it's Wildwood Catholic choosing to be very patient, waiting for a layup.
Seen that one before. Eddie McWade with another left-handed lay-in. 50-28 Wildwood Catholic. They're on the feed from younger brother Kevin. Those 2 have been consistently hooking up tonight. We've seen Freeman and McWade hooking up as well on passes back and forth. Certainly a team right now heading for its 12th straight win that is smooth sailing. The Wildwood Catholic Crusaders, and Coach DeWeese has to be impressed with what his team brought to the court so far tonight.
Well, I know you and I are impressed, but knowing Coach Dave DeWeese, he's going to be finding all kinds of things to complain about.
He's got a laundry list, I'm sure. There is Loatman, no good on the layup attempt, and he fouls out on that one. Applies what appeared to be an intentional foul. Simply baffling, though, for a kid playing with 4 fouls and 4:39 remaining, but that'll be it. I guess he might have wanted a water break, but I'm not sure. Either way, that's the night for Loatman.
And Loatman, he fouls out, the 5'9" senior guard. And again, very frustrated. 0 for 9 from the floor. He was 0 for 7 from inside the arc, 0 for 2 from beyond. So, you know, Rakan Loatman did not have the type of night he expected. And that's what's going to happen. Frustration.
Yeah, rough night for a lot of these Lions. Checking in Steve Tobolski. First shot for McWade is off the left side of the rim. Tobolski, we saw a lot of shots from him in his last appearance in the 3rd quarter. A few steals, so we'll see if he can spark Sacred Heart a little bit. Playing in lieu of Loatman, who fouled out. Second free throw is in for McWade. 51-28, Wildwood Catholic leading, 4:30 remaining in this United Conference showdown. Here's Robertson going all the way and hammering it home. Hello! Hanging up there for a little while, enjoying the scenery. It is 53-28, Wildwood Catholic.
And Jordan Robertson brings the Crusader faithful out of their seats.
Another 3 ball there for Justin DeRozzi. That's his first miss. He made his first 2. Sacred Heart, ball right here. Got to tell you, Robertson, he seemed a little bit hesitant to do much today. You said it's letting him set up stuff for his teammates, but I got to say, that was impressive. That tells you the individual stuff he can do. Another 3 ball from DeRossi. That's off. McWade up with the rebound.
And that's what we're talking about, a player like Jordan Robertson. He doesn't force the issue. He lets the game come to him. If it's not there, he finds teammates. But in an instance like that, there's not many kids in his CAL that can flush it down like that.
Yeah, that time he looks up, he just sees clear path to the rim, and he takes care of business. Nice dunk there for Jordan Robertson. Wildwood Catholic with a turnover here. It's Lee Williams missing on the reverse layup. Williams with 4 fouls again. Williams, one of the starters for Sacred Heart. They've already lost 1 starter to foul trouble. That's Michael Holloway, who left with his 5th foul. And now Eddie McWade takes a seat at the bench. I don't expect we'll see him again now. Wildwood Catholic leading comfortably by 25. What a night for McWade, if that is it for him. Getting it done on both sides of the court. Certainly outplaying his counterpart Holloway down low. A big matchup to watch, and Eddie McWade undoubtedly got the better of that matchup.
Yeah, when you think back to the first matchup, again, opening night, Sacred Heart up at Vineland, defeated Wildwood Catholic 60-54. Holloway had 18, Lunsford had 16, Birch had 17. Tonight, Lunsford has 2, Birch had 8, and Holloway had 6.
That's all you need to know right there. That tells the story, shutting down the Sacred Heart's top 3 guys, going a long way today for Wildwood Catholic. Not to mention the fact that Wildwood Catholic scoring themselves, getting it done on offensive end. Here's McWade, wide path, and instead he kicks it out. Robertson thinks about a 3. He drives, take out some contact. It appears that will be foul number 5 on Williams, and third Lion to foul out in this second half. He'll take a seat on the bench, and the Lions really going to their back of their bench at this point, losing a lot of players to foul trouble.
Yeah, and as you said, Kyle Lee Williams picks up his 5th, 10th team foul. Sacred Heart's been over the limit. Regardless, Jordan Robertson would have been at the line shooting 2. 2:57 to go in this basketball game. And it's 53-28. Wildwood Catholic on top.
Jordan Robertson hits there. Robertson is one of 2 starters now remaining on the court for Wildwood Catholic as Kevin McWade takes a seat. The other starter out there with him still is George Cook, point guard. Joining them on the court, Garrett Moretti, Tyler Norris. And as Cook takes a seat, that's Osborne coming on the court, and also Malcolm Darby.
And there is a
number
sub
23.
at the bench, Harry McNally, waiting to get the shooter, Jordan Robertson.
That'll be it for Robertson. He caps things off with a pair of free throws and a monster dunk here in the fourth quarter. Nice effort for him. And, of course, that entire starting lineup for Wildwood Catholic. A well-deserved rest here with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. 3-point attempt by Tobolowski. That one is off. Wildwood Catholic, which has emptied its bench net right now, getting some valuable time for the reserve players. Lunsford regains his dribble, gives it over to Osborne. Now Wildwood Catholic again just trying to get the clock down here, secure up this victory. Norris with a shot attempt that is swatted away by Birch, who takes it down the court. There's Feltman for a shot, and he hits it. 2-point jump shot right there, 55-30. Wildwood Catholic 2 minutes away from its 12th consecutive victory and improving to 7-1 in the United Conference. Sole possession of first place.
Drop 7-2.
Both teams would have 7 wins and split their pair of matchups after this one. Of course, you mentioned St. Joe, Cedar Creek, Pleasantville, obviously trailing behind by a few games. One of those teams get hot, they could start to get in that wild card picture. Interesting conference there over the United.
Tyler, and when you're talking about like a team like St. Joseph, they're 7-6 overall, 5-2, and they're still a team that can do some damage. I mean, they're very well coached. Tim Gallard does a great job up there at St. Joe's. So this is a big win, obviously, for Wildwood Catholic, but this is a tough conference, and every game's got to be played like it's, the division's on the line.
That holds true for the Cape Atlantic League. Not a lot of chances to take your guard down against these teams in the Cape Atlantic League. South Jersey Hoops, very healthy right now. Tyler Norris makes the free throw there. The sophomore now guarding Tobolski, who loses control of the ball. Sacred Heart maintains possession, and now we have a foul against Norris. Norris trying to hustle there. Like I mentioned, this is a nice chance for these sophomores and freshmen and some of the younger guys on DeWeese's roster to make an impact and do something positive here, despite the fact that this game is already wrapped up.
Well, anytime your junior varsity, your bench players can get in the game, that adds excitement. Everybody's trying to get their name in that box score so they can pick up that Atlantic City Press tomorrow or the Wildwood Leader and get a little excited.
Apparently not too concerned about that was Garrett Moretti, who passed up on a wide-open layup to burn some clock. Here's Moretti working against Stolaski, and he goes inside to Norris, and there is a bucket for him. Tyler Norris making his presence felt here on a few possessions.
And it showed you Garrett Moretti playing the right way despite being, the score of the game. And then he ends up finding his teammate for a layup underneath.
Little leaner jumper right there, and that's good for Justin DeRossi, who has 8 points in limited playing time tonight for Sacred Heart. Struggling to bring the ball up is Norris. Swiped away there to Boloski. Here's Veltman. 3-point shot is no good. Rebounded down to Wildwood Catholic. Norris with the rebound. He hands off to Lunsford. Lunsford, a freshman, running point now, and we'll see even some more fresh faces for Wildwood Catholic entering the game. DJ Smith, a freshman. Number 30 is in. Number 44. You're going to have to help me with this one, buddy. Any help there?
Yeah, Zarek Zorowski.
Thought you might be able to help me. I know you're familiar with this team.
Well, if I said it wrong, I'm going to get a text message from the University of Delaware from my nephew Mark correcting me. Trust me.
Everyone needs a watchdog. Keep you sharp. So here's Wildwood Catholic. 22 seconds left. It's stolen away. That is rough layup there. Veltman with the steal. And he has the ball again right now until it's taken away by Wildwood Catholic's Garrett Moretti, who will take a few dribbles here and take it on down to the final horn. And that's it, folks. Wildwood Catholic defeats the Sacred Heart Lions 58-32. 12 wins in a row for Dave DeWeese's Crusaders, who are surging at the right time, heating up towards the playoff chase and now in sole possession of the United Conference lead.
And again, a very impressive turnaround compared to the opening night. As Wildwood Catholic comes out here and gets the job done.
Big stars for the night for Wildwood Catholic. You have to first and foremost take a look at Eddie McWade, the junior forward. Did damage on both sides of the ball, both sides of the court, I should say. And what I was most impressed from Wildwood Catholic tonight was they came out and played defense from start to finish, whether it was their younger players or some of their more savvy veterans. Sacred Heart did not have a good deal of room to work with on the offensive side of the ball. And you have to first look at the way they contain Michael Holloway, the 6'7" forward, all the talent in the world for that junior. He only musters 6 points tonight, 9 rebounds for him, but could not get much going when it came to the point department.
No, and again, we had talked about that before the game. I was fortunate to be able to spend some time with Coach Dave DeWeese, who's going to be joining us here in a couple of moments, as will junior Eddie McWade, who was the leading scorer in tonight's ball game with 22 points. As we got to watch the two litigators get together. Mike McCary. McCary travels down and thinks he's going to hog all the time on the court. This isn't the court you perform in anymore. But again, joining us, that was a little lawyer joke.
Yeah,
lawyers.
It went over my head.
I was explaining that to Tyler. But anyway, joining us is Wildwood Catholic head coach and Dave DeWeese. Dave, talking before the game, obviously, the opening night, 60-54 loss. We talked about interior defense before the game, and that was what you were hoping was going to be the difference tonight. And you held Holloway to 4 points. And those 4 points inside were actually on putbacks. So you were able to really negate and take away any inside presence for Sacred Heart offensively.
Eddie McQuaid did an outstanding job on him tonight. You know, I think we're a completely different team today than we were back on December 14th. Our kids have worked very hard over the last 40 days or so and have improved tremendously. And I think the biggest improvement of our team has been on the defensive end of the floor. We are setting the tone in many of these games very early in the game with our defensive pressure and our defensive presence, and it's benefited us in many games by giving us an opportunity to get a lead early in the game and then play from there.
Coach, last Thursday when you joined my show, you said that you thought your team was taking steps down to greatness. Potentially next year, when they're all back again, they could be something special. What kind of step does tonight's impressive victory over Sacred Heart mean to you?
I think they're pretty special right now. I mean, I think they've accomplished a lot already, more than I certainly thought they were going to be able to accomplish this year. they've grown. I think they've gotten a lot of confidence, and and each one of them individually has improved. You know, you look at Kevin McWade, you know, he has improved leaps and bounds since our first game of the year. Jordan's gotten better, Mookie's gotten better, everybody's gotten better. So that's why we're where we are right now. I think everybody has worked hard to get better. They're playing as a team, and I can't emphasize how important their effort on the defensive end of the floor is.
Hey, Coach, before we let you go, well, you know the main man, Mike McGarry, standing over there for the press. We were talking before the game about, at halftime with Mike, and we're talking about how it could be a different player and how unselfish this team is. As you know, a cast of juniors from George Cook, and Kevin McWade being the sophomore, and they come out and it's a different guy can step it up. Jordan Robertson doesn't force the game to come to him, although he could be the best player on the floor no matter who's
like
playing.
Him to sometimes.
Yeah. Well, when they need him to take the game over, you know, he's got that ability. But how well these guys share the ball.
Yeah, they're a very close-knit group. I compare this group to the group I had in 2006, 2007. They were kids that grew up together, played together, were best friends, hung out together outside the basketball court, hung out together on the court. This group's exactly the same way. They're together all summer long, all spring, all fall. They're a very cohesive group. They play together well, and they just want to win. They just want to win is the bottom line.
High praise from Coach DeWeese. Congratulations on the victory, 12 in a row, as you continue to roll towards that United Conference title. A few more games to take care of, and then we're talking about playoffs soon.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Coach.
Thanks for having us.
And now we're going to bring on the junior, the 6'4" forward, Mr. Eddie McWade. And Ed had a big game tonight, and he lost to these guys like we talked to Coach about on opening night. How special was it to come back here tonight and not only beat them, but beat them convincingly?
It was very special. That's what we've been looking forward to do the whole season, is to play them again and win like this.
Your matchup against Holloway, the sophomore, he's so special for Sacred Heart. Tonight you seemed to give him a lot of trouble on defense and offense. What were you doing so well inside that really frustrated him?
I was just fronting them, and then everyone else on the team was playing good help side and guarding the lob, so they never threw it into them.
Talk about playing with your brother. He had a nice game today. Seems to be very tenacious on defense just like you, and he finds you a few times. Your relationship on the court with your little brother?
It's very good. We've been playing for forever. We've been on the same team
for as long as you've been brothers.
Yeah. So we don't even have to talk. You can just know what he's doing. He knows what I'm doing.
We got a kick out of the one time because it happened right down here in front of us. Kevin gave you the ball on the block. You were defended, and you could see him. He was out here wiggling his fingers like, come on, big brother, give it back to me. I want to knock down a three. And sure enough, you kicked it back out, and he buried it.
Yeah, he knows when he throws the ball inside to relocate the open spot, and he can hit shots when he's open.
Hey, 12 straight wins. We talk about what you're doing right. What's one thing as a player that you think your team could be doing better that really could take you to the next level?
We probably play a little better defense.
Well, took care of that tonight. Big effort against Sacred Heart. Gave up 60 in the opener. Not so much tonight.
That's a good answer, too.
It's a great answer.
That's something coaches love to hear.
We'll make sure Coach DeWeese knows that you said that. I'm sure he knows it. Impressive effort from you. Impressive effort from the entire Crusaders. Good luck. Stay healthy. Enjoy the ride.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right, well, buddy, we had a chance to talk with some VIP members of this Wildwood Catholic basketball program. Come away impressed by McWade. You come away delighted with how Coach DeWeese talks about his team. He surely thinks things are clicking when he compares it to that Rafa-led title-winning team. What do you think is the ceiling of this Wildwood Catholic team looking at this year?
Well, you know, one of the keys is he touched about the Anthony Rafa-led team. Rafa was the known star of that team. Everyone bought into their role. And when you have kids that buy in and understand, now this team has got more talent, I should say, individually, but they all know whose night it is to stand up and shine. One night it's going to be Eddie McWade. One night it's going to be Clinton Freeman. One night it's going to be Jordan Robertson. One night it could be one of the guards, you know, whether it be George Cook or Kevin McWade. And they're willing to sacrifice their numbers for the ultimate goal, which is to put more points up on the board than the other team.
You look among the Cape Atlantic League's elite, that's the case right now. You can't pinpoint one guy. Middle Township, a different score every night. You look over at Atlantic City even during their run last year, this year, you never know who's going to step up for them. A team like Holy Spirit, who really relied heavily on Paul Moore, entered the season as the leading scorer. He struggled a bit at times. They're suddenly lost 4 in a row. And right now you're seeing the elite teams really have to put Wildwood Catholic in that conversation with Atlantic City, St. Augustine, and Middle Township.
St. Augustine, another multi-dimensional team, you know. And with the one thing that comes back, they're all very well coached. Jamie Gillespie does a great job at Holy Spirit. Gene Allen, can't say enough about Gene Allen and the way he gets those kids to play and play hard and play the right way. Paul Rodeo at the Prep, obviously. Tommy Fracco, obviously. And, you know, you get Dave DeWeese here with the success that he has had. And, you know, that's the key. If you don't respect the men in the staff that's on the bench, a lot of these kids that think they're superstars start to believe it and start to act it. And these guys are able, as coaches, are able to keep them all in check.
Take a sneak peek at the upcoming schedule for Wildwood Catholic. Coming up here on Thursday, they will face Cape May County Tech. That is here at Wildwood Catholic High School. They follow that up with 3 road trips at St. Joe, at Pleasantville, and round out their United Conference schedule at Buna. Meanwhile, Sacred Heart will look to rebound, continue to stay in the wild card race in the Cape Atlantic League. They follow this game with a home game against Pleasantville. So we'll see what those teams have in store. We could see these 2 squads meet again potentially in the Cape Atlantic League playoffs. Remember, 2 teams at least will make it out of the United Conference. It appears Wildwood Catholic has a spot locked up for those playoffs right now. But it's been a pleasure calling the game with you, buddy, for the first time. And a memorable game for the way Wildwood Catholic put the clamps on early and never let up.
Absolutely. And, Tyler, you just can't say enough about the way Wildwood Catholic came out. They executed their game plan, and they really took it to Sacred Heart, and Sacred Heart never recovered. They threw a couple of haymakers in that first quarter, and Sacred Heart, they were woozy the rest of the game.
Well, many thanks to our producer, director, videographer, Matt Ulmer, for his
Jack
efforts,
of all trades.
Course. Yeah, jack of all trades. And for Buddy, of course, I'm Tyler Donahue saying goodnight from Wildwood Catholic High School. Stay tuned to CapeMayCountySports.com for the stretch run of the Cape Atlantic League playoff chase and, of course, into the playoffs themselves. The wild ride is just beginning. Wildwood Catholic with a big win tonight over Sacred Heart.